Hey guys, how are you? Good. My name is Eleni Gina, and recently, what have I been thinking about recently? Recently I've been thinking about intelligence as like a concept. I think intelligence is very ego-based. Because like, hear me out. Whenever you're like comparing, the fact that you have to compare somebody to understand their intelligence, I think that's weird. I think that's strange. Can I explain why I think that's weird? Maybe not. I don't know. It just feels strange because a lot of the time people will say to you, you'll come up with an idea and they'll be like, wow, that's really smart. And what they're really saying is, I wouldn't have been able to think about that. So they're like comparing you to their own intelligence, which I think is strange. Like, that's really strange. Also, we're next to like a road, so there's going to be lots of car noises, so please enjoy. Give you some Australian character. Yeah, but I think that's strange, and I think that's really egotistical. Like, the fact that you have to compare somebody to your intelligence to figure out if they are intelligent, that's like you saying, oh, for you to be smart, you need to be smarter than me. Like, that's not true. There's people who know less than me, and I still think that they're smart. I think that it's stupid when you turn around and you're like, oh, they couldn't think of this thing or that. It's like, man, there's bigger things. There's bigger fish to fry. I've never said that saying before. That's a weird saying, bigger fish to fry. Sometimes bigger fish don't even taste better than smaller fish, though. Is it saying that there's more work to be done? I don't know. Yeah, but what else have I been thinking about? The sky is so blue. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Look at that cloud on the mountain. Like, isn't that sexy? Isn't that gorgeous? Look at it. Dude, that looks like an animation. Check out the truck. Yeah, I felt really low energy recently, and honestly it's probably because of social media. Like, I have a huge social media addiction, or just like social media addiction, specifically Instagram, like YouTube shorts. Like, those two are my worst. Honestly, I keep saying honestly too much, I need a different word, but those two are the things that take the most of my time, and I think that it's ridiculous. More and more I'm realizing that people are becoming happier living vicariously through people, which is a very strange thing. But I guess maybe people used to think that of like movies and of photographs, but I guess that's all that social media is. It's like an overload of photos and movies and videos and whatnot. You know what? I'm going to give you some tips on things that I use to combat my social media addiction. First off, one of the things you need to think about is proximity and convenience. If it's convenient, you're going to go on it. Like, that's just logic, you know? So a thing that I like to do is delete the app. That is a good start. Like, for Instagram, I only download it if I have an intention to go on it. Like, don't get me wrong, I go on it and then I like scroll for 10 hours. Like, not 10 hours. Maybe, I don't know. But, no, I don't scroll for 10 hours. I don't know why I said that. But making it difficult, that's what makes it easier, you know? Another thing is, I also have Facebook, but I don't use Facebook a lot, but it's that typical thing of, oh, I go on it and then I go through one video and then boom, stuck in that dopamine loop. So what I do is, you can actually, in settings, make it that you can only access an app if you go through the app store. It's not on your homepage. You have to actually go into the app store and then use your Face ID to unlock it. And that has helped me a lot. Facebook, I've used that a lot less. That's usually the app that I go to when there's nothing else, and having that little step in place, because it is something that I do need to access, because I'm a part of like this dance group and I like to see the videos of when we dance. So that's like a little tip that I use. So first of all, make it difficult to access on your actual phone. Like that will do wonders. Now, another thing you can do is actually making it less enjoyable to scroll. So on my phone, I have this thing where I can make it go monochrome, so it's like black and white. I don't know what it's called, but it makes it go black and white when I tap it 2 times on the back. You can do that in settings as well, and that helps a lot. When I remember, the biggest thing is remembering these things, because it's so easy when you get trapped in like a dopamine loop to just forget everything that you have in place, as well as having little rules for myself. Like, and again, it's that thing of remembering. When you're just doing it mindlessly, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when I feel the shittiest, is when it's mindless, when I feel like I am basically out of control because I'm mindless about it. So another thing that I do is, it is hot, is I make little rules for myself. If you can stop yourself going on your phone in your bedroom, especially if you're somebody who's like doom scrolls in your bedroom in bed before bed, do not keep your phone in your room. Just don't do it. Don't make your room a place for you to scroll. Your bedroom, it's called a bedroom because you're meant to sleep in it. That's all you're meant to do in it. Like, and if you're in an environment where being in your bedroom is really the only place you get like a haven, I get that. Like, I've been in that scenario before. Go outside, sit on a porch. If that's not safe, have a chair, maybe in the kitchen, or a chair in the bathroom, just somewhere else where it's designated to going onto your phone, so you have to go out of your way. Another thing that I do is, when I remember, again, like, I'm not perfect at this, is I don't keep my charger in my bedroom, because if I'm charging my phone in my bedroom, then I'm going to be on my phone in my bedroom. And another thing that I do is I leverage my discomfort around using my phone. I hate using my phone around other people. If I'm in public and I'm with other people, I will not go on my phone. Like, I refuse. It feels so wrong. And like, if you're around people, don't go on your phone, you know? And you shouldn't be doing it isolated either, but it's weird to be just sitting on your phone with all your friends. Like, something's wrong with you. That's boring. That's lame. So I leverage that, and I make it that I only go on my phone like in the living room, because that's when the most people cross me, like in my family. And so then I'm like, oh, there's my mom, gotta get off my phone because like there's a person there. And then I go on it less. Now, one of the things that I think I struggle the most with is having like the alarm on my phone. Like, I use my alarm on my phone, so it's like, oh, Eleni Gina, how are you going to wake up in the morning if you need to rely on an alarm? Buy yourself an alarm. Just buy yourself an alarm, you know? Buy yourself an alarm. It makes it easier. Now, do I have an alarm? Yeah, I do. Do I use that alarm? I don't. I need to take my own advice. And you know what? I will. I am going to now. Like, I've decided. When I get home, I'm going to start using that alarm. What else could I do, or do I do, to kill my phone addiction? Make fucking plans. Socialize. Excuse my language, but seriously, like, make plans. The only reason... Oh my god. I had the best conversation a few months ago. My uncle, who's not my uncle, but he's my uncle, you know, them ones. I'm telling him, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm addicted to my phone. I've just decided to like delete the app, and it's been going really well. And he looks at me. And he goes, okay. And I go, yeah, like yada yada yada. He's like, so what happens when you download it? And I go, what? He goes, what happens when you download it again? I go, I just won't download it. And he goes, no, that's not gonna work. And I'm like, huh? And he looks at me, and he looks me in the eyes, and he says to me, the only reason you go on your phone is because you're bored. And I was like, oh, stop, like, it's not that simple. Like, shut up, like, you don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say that, but like, that's sort of what was going on in my head. I'm like, you don't get it, like, it's an addiction, like. And he looks at me and he goes, no, you're just bored. If you weren't bored, you wouldn't go on your phone. I said, no, it's deeper than that. Like, you don't get it. He said, okay. why do you go on your phone then? And I stopped. And I thought about it. And I like whispered, I was like, cause I'm bored. It was that simple. It really was that simple. And so my next word of advice is don't be boring. Just stop being boring. The only reason you're going on it is because you're bored. And he was so right. Thank you, Uncle Richard. No, but seriously, like, you're just going on it because you're bored. I'm drawing on my leg right now. That's why I'm not focusing there. But seriously, like, find things that bring you joy and consistency, as well as routine. You need routine. If you do not have, and he said that too. He was like, you don't, well, what's your routine? And I'm like telling him it, and it's pretty fucking wish-washy, like, and then I was like, damn, he's right. And again, I think the hardest part of the addiction is forgetting. Like, it's so easy to have all of these things in place and all of these things, but when you're in that point of, I guess, mindlessness, and you're not conscious of what you're doing, you would just go on it, and then before you know it, you won't even realize you're on it, and you're like, oh shit, like. So it's remembering, it's being conscious, it's being present. And that's what I think the biggest word of advice I can give you is figure out ways for yourself that helps you, things that help you to be conscious, whether that's meditation or journaling or just listening to your internal monologue. I think sometimes we just let the little voices in our head, it's like yap and yap and yap and yap and yap, rather than actually calling them out and saying, hey, like, let's not think this thought. We don't believe this. This is untrue. But we all seem to collectively just allow that silly little voice sometimes, which I love and adore. Like, I appreciate her, but we do need to tell her that the things that she's telling us aren't true, and also be conscious. Like, we are conscious beings. Why are we choosing to be unconscious? And I think that's what social media does. It takes away consciousness. It takes away critical thinking, because you're allowing somebody else to basically consume you, you know? That's why you say you're consuming media. You're being consumed. You're not consuming it. It's consuming you. So get off Instagram. Get off TikTok. Get off Reels. Not Reels. What's it called? YouTube Shorts. You can actually also block. I haven't been able to do it because honestly I haven't put in the effort to do it. But you can block YouTube Shorts with an external app, like an app, and my friend, she does that and it works really well for her. At least from what I've heard. I haven't really followed up about it. But yeah, and take accountability for it too. As well as, another thing people don't talk about is the shame cycle. Like, you need to stop shaming yourself. You've been on your phone, you've scrolled, it's done. You can't undo the time that you have done, and that's okay. Like, and it is okay, because the only moment that exists is now. What's happened in the past, it's not there anymore. And sitting there while you're scrolling and going, oh my god, I've wasted my whole day, I've wasted all of these things that I could have been doing, I've missed out on all this. You haven't missed out on anything. You're only going to miss out on things if you don't get out of it now, you know? And saying those negative things to yourself isn't going to help you. It's not going to stop it. It's just going to make you feel bad, and because you feel bad, you're going to keep on scrolling. Therefore, the cycle continues, and the cycle is a choice. You can choose to do that, or you could choose to step out and go and live your life. Because why would we want to live our lives vicariously through other people when there's a whole world out there for us? You're here on this earth, like, you're here in this moment, only this moment, and you could die at any second. Look around you, like, things are beautiful, you know? Why are we limiting ourselves to this little rectangle? On this little rectangle that you're watching me right now. And maybe you're trying to make yourself feel better about things, and honestly, that's okay. And you should feel better. and you should go explore something. One of the things too, like you've done it, you've scrolled, you've wasted the time you have wasted, but it's not wasted time. You've gained a lesson of what you don't want to do with your time. So use that lesson, leverage it, and when it happens again, because it might happen again, it will probably happen again, forgive yourself and remind yourself and try to find incremental ways to make it better. Another another piece of advice, just get rid of your phone. Just do it. I might do it. Get a flip phone. Pretty sure they have timers on them anyway. Pretty sure they have alarms on them. Get a flip phone. I'm gonna get a flip phone. First of all, I'm gonna work though. I'm gonna work my little job. Get some money, then I'm getting a flip phone. And I'll keep this phone, but I'll turn it off. And only turn it on the days when I will post. Yeah. But forgive yourself. Trust yourself. Explore. Be curious. Anytime you feel like shit, be curious about something. If you're talking about dopamine, far out, the dopamine you get from being curious, if you're just like, man, I wonder what's on, like, behind that tree, and then you go up to the tree and then you look behind and you like stare at it really close. My favorite thing to do if you're ever really like bored is I'd try and look around for like the biggest thing around me. I'm like looking, okay, what's the biggest thing? And then I try and like shrink it down or make it bigger in my head. Then I go, okay, what's the littlest thing that I can see? And I like look at specks of dust, and then I like keep going, and then I imagine I like enlarge that dust, and then I shrink it, and then I imagine that I shrink like the mountain behind me. I shrink the mountain and I make the dust huge, and then I replace the mountain with the dust, and then the dust with the mountain, and then I shrink myself, and then I make myself really big, like humongous. And then I realize, damn, me being sad about scrolling on my phone isn't that big of a deal. Like it's done. That doesn't even exist. I'm a huge monster, and I'm a little tiny speck right now. Like, shit doesn't matter. Be happy, be creative, be curious. I hate when people go, be yourself. What the fuck does that mean? Like, what does be yourself? Like, what else can you be? Even if you're pretending to be somebody else, like, that's still part of yourself. Personally, I try not to do that, but like I still don't get it when people like, be yourself. Like, what do you mean by that? And would they even accept it? And why do they have the responsibility to be the one to tell me to be myself? Like, do I need permission from you? No. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Okay, that's all I have to say. See ya!